Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin of RBWins.com. It's Friday, the 5th of May. It's the weekend, and boy, oh boy, first week of May. But like every Friday, I am joined by these two gentlemen that you see on your screen at Jesse Shule of JesseShule.com, Sean Higgs of PicksandParleys.net, a guy who has never lost for words. Sean, how are you?
Pretty good. You mentioned it's like Friday. I'm thinking to myself, football Fridays are only a couple of weeks away, but then it's really Cinco de Mayo, so we should be pumped up for margaritas. And I'm more of a fajita guy than a taco guy, but festive Friday
for sharing that.
Yes, I had to, because you know what? I gotta go to this thing called Surf's Up tonight with my wife with some of her friends. I don't know. We have to wear like some beachy theme kind of thing. But she's like, make sure you don't say anything rude or offensive. I'm like, she's like, big midday money, Sean. I want to see Smile. I'm like, really? Like, I gotta go out. Like, I'm more of a homebody kind of guy. I don't want to go out with a bunch of people I don't know because I want to act silly sometimes.
I always love when my wife puts me on personality control.
Yeah.
You know
what it's like. We're all married here. You get the pinch under the
because
table
she gets nervous. I have a habit of saying what's on my mind, and then worrying about the repercussions later. But
I don't know.
One thing I do is tell the truth, sometimes to my detriment, if you know what I mean, Sean. So anyway, Jesse, he has no problem with food because he's got a picture on Twitter right now. If you go to his Twitter page at Jesse Shule, you will see Jesse with a whole table full of food in front of him, and him looking like a 4-year-old that just woke up on Christmas morning with trees under, or with gifts under the tree. Jesse, how are you, man?
I didn't even know it was Cinco de Mayo. I was out for Korean food, eating Korean barbecue with my wife and my daughter, and we enjoyed it nonetheless. I guess I missed out on some Mexican and margaritas, but that's a little harder to come by where I'm at.
There you go. So again, folks, Jesse Shule of JesseShule.com, Sean Higgs of PicksandParleys.net, two of the best handicappers you'll find on the internet today, folks. I'm not going to get into the world and the states and all that. Two of the best on the internet. Let's put it that way. And that's global. Okay. So myself too, as well. And Doug Upstone of DocSports.com. If you missed our video that we recorded yesterday, we got 2 free picks in Major League Baseball today. You can check those out right now at the archives at our channel, which is good. Just because you don't catch us live does not mean that you can't watch the show. It's the archives are all saved there. And that takes me to this, folks. Again, friendly reminder, I mentioned this yesterday. The new name of our channel, it's no longer the OSGA channel. It's now called Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel. We named after the show. And also, we're sponsored by Gamblers World. No more OSGA. So that's all business, politics, and money involved. It has nothing to do with you guys as viewers. If you already subscribed as when we were OSGA, there's no need to resubscribe. You're all set. But if you have not subscribed, why not do so? It costs you absolutely nothing. Zero. And no strings attached, no subscriptions, no hidden agendas. Just hit that. You'll see the Winner's Circle logo right on the bottom right-hand corner of our screen. Just click on that. A subscribe button will come up, and you're set to go. Hit subscribe and hit your alerts bell, and you'll be notified immediately upon any of our Winner's Circle Sports Betting podcasts being published on this channel. Jesse, we had a discussion off air, and it's worth mentioning on air. We were talking about the MVP and Joel Embiid winning the MVP award, and you had some interesting insights into that selection, and I'll let you share your thoughts with the folks and then hear what Sean has to say in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been on Twitter a few times saying, imagine a player that is so valuable that his team is 13-5 when he doesn't play. Yeah. And then he returns in game 2 and they get smoked by the Celtics. If Joel Embiid wants to make any case for deserving his MVP award, they better win tonight. But I'm a Joker guy, and I've seen a lot of takes on the internet from a lot of the talking heads. Colin Cowherd's a guy that I don't really ever agree with, but he gave a pretty good analysis of why they didn't vote for Joker and why the MVP award was less of a vote for Embiid and more of a vote against Joker, for the reason you don't want to give him three in a row because a lot of the greats never got three in a row. And just a more marketable star in a more marketable city. And there you go. Joel Embiid wins the award, but I think Nikola Jokic is the most valuable player. And I think the playoffs so far have certainly backed that up. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, Jokic, if you take him out of the lineup, Denver, in my opinion, is nothing better than a 500 team. I'm not sure if that would be the case with Philadelphia and Embiid. And like you just mentioned, 12-5 without Embiid. Would they be a playoff team? I think so, without Embiid. Would they win a playoff series, possibly one round? And that would be hard pressed to do so without Embiid. But the Joker, without him, I think that would hurt Denver's chances of A, making the playoffs, and B, if they made the playoffs, even winning a round. So your thoughts, Sean?
Listen, I thought Joker pretty much had it. He averaged almost a triple-double or whatever. You got to be like, wow, the guy's amazing. But I thought Embiid's more of a defensive kind of guy, right, with the blocks and stuff. People kind of like that. But let's be honest. They talk about, well, you can't win three in a row. I understand, but it's kind of like the Hall of Fame. Is it the Hall of Fame or is it the Hall of Statistics? Is it the most valuable to the team or is it just like super seasons? Because I'm not a big LeBron guy, but let's be honest. He could be the MVP every year because as he goes, his team goes. Steph Curry, Michael Jordan. Insert any kind of name of a superstar. You lose that. Like that guy would always be. If he doesn't play, well, who's the MVP? So it's kind of, I look at it as you can't really take away. The guy had a great season. Right. And plus, I think that he sat out, Joker sat out a little bit towards the end of the season. They lost
17 games he sat out. So
Embiid or Jokic?
Embiid. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were. Yeah.
I think Joker missed some towards the end of the season when they were losing some games. So that kind of stuff is like, well,
it did finish first in the West, though.
Exactly. Though at that point they already had a cakewalk. But for the Embiid, you're playing to overtake Boston or Milwaukee. Maybe there's a little more to that. I mean, I don't think, it's just one of those awards where are we going with? Is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the bottom line is we've been complaining all season long about the NBA and the lack of transparency on player availability. And
that's a quarter of games you missed, you said, right? 17 games.
Right. I mean, this guy missed 17 out of 82 regular season games. Not an enormous amount, but, you're talking 17, it's close to 20%, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that should be factored in. I mean, it's not he was sitting out because his team had his conference locked up late in the year, which is understandable. I mean, at that point, you have nothing to gain and you want to get to the finish line with your best players healthy. But
that's where the load management comes in that kind of spot right there where, what, just sit out. Who cares? Rest up a little bit. We need you to do unworldly things in the playoffs.
So I'm glad that Jesse, who doesn't agree with Colin Cowherd, chose to be on this show, and he won't be on Colin Cowherd's show because he agrees with me once in a while, and that's a good thing. So he also disagrees with me on occasion, and that's good too. All right, let's get to the NBA tonight. All right, we're looking at Jesse will be covering the Celtics and 76ers. I'll be covering the Nuggets and the Suns, and Sean is going to address NBA player props. And if you weren't with us the other day, Sean cashed in on both of his NBA player props as he had Gabe Vincent over 2.5 3-point makes. He easily eclipsed that number. And he also had D'Angelo Russell over 15.5 points scored. And D'Angelo Russell turned in a 19-point performance. So Sean, since we're on that wave, in that wave of momentum, let's start with you. What do you got for us on tonight's two games and the best player props in your eyes that are available?
So in the Philly game, I'm going with Tyrese Maxey over 20.5 points minus a 115. 13 points last game, game 1, 26. And you look back at his series versus Brooklyn, he had some, 13, 33, 25, 16. And in all the kind of competitive games, he produce the points. And that's what I think we're going to get here. Now, Brooklyn isn't Boston, little step up in competition. But we saw in game one, for them to win, whether Embiid plays or not plays, he's got to get his points going. They need him to contribute to this team. So I'm expecting a 23, 25 points here. You should get over that total. And in the Suns-Nuggets game, I'm looking at Kevin Durant under 5.5 assists. It was plus 120 at BetMGM earlier. 3-1, 4-6, 5-11, 4-2-5. That's his last 10 games. The 11 was a near triple-double. And let's be honest, these guys are down 0-2. There is no way this guy's passing the ball. Well, he doesn't pass the ball. He's not passing. It's going to be him and Booker. No, if you want to go like a Booker over assist would be fine because he's got the ball in his hand all the time. It comes to KD. It's like you're like in outer space. It's going into the black hole. It's like, where's it go? It's gone. It just disappears. No, because he's going to take a shot. 5.5 assists at plus money. Sure, under KD assist total.
Okay, so Kevin Durant under 5.5 assists. Tyrese Maxey. I'll get it right. No disrespect intended. But
I had to look up who his name was. I just called him Maxey.
Maxey over 20.5 points scored. And there you have it from a guy that hit both of his NBA player props on Wednesday's show for Wednesday's games. And he looks to go make it a perfect 4-0 after tonight. And Jesse, I know one person that's not going to pass anything when there's a food full of table is Jesse Shule. But now, in terms of we're not really concerned at this point what his eating habits are or what his table manners are. We're concerned with who does he like in the Celtics and 76ers matchup right now, Jesse, for the game. Boston is a 2.5-point road favorite, and the total is 214. Give us your take, my friend.
Well, Boston's got to love where they're at right now. They're coming off that big blowout win, responding to the game one loss. The bookmakers like Boston. Boston fans like Boston. I like Philly. I think it's a letdown spot for Boston. We did see them go into Atlanta and lose game 3 of that series to an inferior Hawks team. This Philly team is 31-12 overall at home this season. That's regular season and playoffs. They did earn the split, which is really all they can hope for. In 2 games in Boston, they come back. They now have home court advantage. I did mention that I don't think Embiid should have deserved the MVP award, but he's still got something to prove. I mean, he's got that award. Now it's his chance to earn it at home. He's got to be better here tonight than he was in his first game back, and of course you'd expect him to be. You look at the regular season series. They split the regular season series 2 games apiece. The home team was just 1-1 in the regular season, so it's not like both teams won their home games. But I had a look at that, and one of those losses, or the one game that Philly lost in Philly, it was a tie game, and Jason Tatum hit a buzzer beater with 2 seconds left on the clock. A deep 3-pointer was the game. That's how they won the game winner. So it was a really close game. I like the Sixers as the dog. I think Boston suffers a letdown. So I like the Sixers for the game tonight, but I'm also going to throw a prop on top of that. At Bet365, they have the game series double. It's plus 280 if you want to take Philly to win tonight's game and then go on to win the series. The price is plus 280 on the game series double.
So you want Philadelphia plus 2.5 as a home underdog tonight over Boston in game 3 of the series, and also a prop bet, which Philadelphia to win tonight straight up and to win the series at money line odds of plus 280, correct?
That's a Roger Ross. And the way I'd play that is I'd put a full stake, whatever 1 unit is for whatever you're betting, on the Philadelphia plus the 2.5, and then a quarter stake on the prop bet at plus 280.
Let me ask you a question, and we'll get to Sean. Who's got the better supporting cast in your opinion, Philadelphia or Denver? I say that because it enters into the conversation of Embiid and Joker for MVP.
Well, I'll tell you this. We talked a lot about Phoenix's depth, right? And in the first round, I was harping away at Phoenix's lack of depth. And when I had to do a write up for game one against Denver, and then I was looking at Denver's depth, and I thought, they're not that impressive. Their bench is not that impressive. Their starting five's impressive. They got one or two more guys, but they don't really have like five guys off the bench that I would trust to log minutes and be, they need their starters to play well. Denver does. Philly, I think, has guys coming off the bench.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they have the better supporting cast. I think they have the depth. And I mean, I think the fact that they've won all those games without Embiid certainly solidifies that in my mind.
Yeah, I thought it was a no-brainer, the answer based on our discussion, but I was just curious to hear it because I know that you've given this a lot of thought in terms of the MVP award. I agree with you, Jesse. I think Philadelphia far and away has a better supporting cast for Embiid than Denver does for the Joker. Although, let's not make light of Denver's accomplishments this year. They were number one in the West for a reason. It's not because it was all the Joker, but again, when push comes to shove, if you cornered me, I would agree with Jesse. Philadelphia has far better the supporting cast than Denver does. Okay, Sean, your thoughts real quick before we get to my pick.
When he was saying bet a steak on it, like once I thought he was talking about his dinner the other night.
Yeah, well,
there's
always a food reference in Jesse's analysis. Anyway,
I kind of like the Sixers here. Probably, obviously a money line play here at the short number. I think Sixers at home, as again, Embiid probably taking some arrows here with his game 2 performance as the entire team off of, again, you're off a terrible loss like that. It's embarrassing. You come home. Let's go. Rally the troops, as they say. Like we have those kind of like statement games, whatever, circle the wagons. This is, game 3, games 5 is always important. So get the edge here in the series. I'll go money line. I guess would be about a 115, 120 here, I guess.
So you're going to go with, I'm sorry?
Sixers money line.
Sixers money line, and they're plus 2.5 right now, Sean.
Yeah. I like a 120. It depends. Shop around. These books now, like the old days would be an easy money to find. Now they
said minus. I just want to make sure you said minus 115.
They should be plus 115.
Okay, plus 115. Yeah. I just want to correct that because if indeed that's what you said, which you didn't. So again, just crossing the T's and dotting the I's for you folks. Let's get to my game real quick before we get short of time and we have to rush through everything. But I'm going to look at, and I'll make this real quick, folks. Denver and Phoenix, game 3 of the series. Denver leads the series 2-0. Denver won and covered as a home favorite in the first 2 of the series. And right now, we're looking at the Suns are a 4-point favorite, and 225 is the total. I'm just going to concentrate on the side, and I'm going to keep it real simple. Look, the home and away splits for both teams. Denver, terrific 39-7 at home, but just 20-23 on the road. Phoenix 19-26 on the road, but an extremely good 30-14 at home. So again, the home and away splits would favor Phoenix in this situation. Since the 2002 playoffs, I went back and went into the database and checked how home favorites in a game 3 do after losing the first 2 games of the series, and not only losing, but failing to cover on both occasions as away underdog. Teams in that situation in game 3s are 47, 29-2 against the spread and 54-24 straight up. The ATS number is what I'm concerned with. That's 62% since 2002. You couple that with the home and away splits, the strong home court for Phoenix, and the desperation and urgency to me will definitely be on the Phoenix side. I think this is the type of situation Jesse would like to go first quarter on the Suns. I'd be shocked if that's without what he's going to tell us. So I don't want to steal his thunder, but I'm going to take Phoenix here minus the 4 over Denver. Your thoughts, Jesse?
Oh, you called it, Ross. First half, though, I think there's some pretty juicy stats out there that are hitting, almost 70% against the spread going back several years for teams in this situation.
Down
for the first half.
Down 2-0, you're talking about?
Down 2-0, playing at home in game 3. I believe the first half stats are the one that really jump off the page. Now, I tend to like the first quarter bets, and it's harder to find historical stats on those, but I've got burned on the first quarter bets a couple times recently. I might actually just stick with the first half for this one.
There you go. So Jesse would like Phoenix -2 in the first half over Denver. I like Phoenix -4 for the game over Denver. And Sean likes.
I gotta say, you guys throwing out huge ATS numbers against me here. I kind of like Denver and the 4 here. I mean, it's going to be the Booker and Durant show, and you have extra time off. They schedule these games. You got some rest, but I'm going to go with a team that could bring somebody in off the bench, could maybe get some extra scoring. Team first. I'll take the 4 with the Nuggets.
All right, so Sean likes Denver plus the 4. We're going to go with our official picks here, which in Jesse's case, he likes the 76ers plus 2.5 against the Celtics at home. The 76ers being at home, that is. Jesse also, he likes the 76ers to win the game straight up and the 76ers to win the series. If you bet that right now in that combination, you're going to get money line odds of plus 280. A lot of value there. And that's what Jesse Shule likes. And you know what? With his history, hard to argue with anything he picks right now. And then Sean, tell the folks who you like again, Sean, with the player props. I don't want to.
We have for the Sixers, Tyrese Maxey over 20.5 points -115, and in the Suns game, we're taking Kevin Durant under 5.5 assists was a plus 120.
There you go, and that's coming from a guy who just 2 days ago gave us 2 NBA player props that won quite handily. And he's looking to make it 4-0. My money's on him. And then also, I like the Phoenix Suns at -4 over the Denver Nuggets. And you heard both of my colleagues' opinions on all 3 games, as a matter of fact, not only their own, but the others, being the other 2 guys, what they thought of both of our picks, or I thought of both of their picks. I think I got that right, Sean? I mean,
Sounds good.
All right. As long as you okay that, I'm okay with it. Hey, Jesse, JesseShule.com. What's going on there? What may you have coming up this weekend? And anything you want to tell us about how well you're doing? 60-something% in what, Jesse?
Well, Ross, the last time I was on the show, I said that I angered the gambling gods, got a little bit too cocky, and they punished me. But I guess I've been behaving myself. I've been on my best behavior. Got really fortunate last night. I had a soccer game go into extra time. Like in the last second of extra time, my team got awarded a penalty and won the match 1-0. So I was really pleased with that. I swept the board yesterday. So I've recovered my losses back to, close to 60% for the year. And you can see me at jesseshule.com. Follow me on Twitter at Jesse Shule, and follow me on YouTube at Jesse Shule Picks.
There you go, Jesse Shule, as he angered the gambling gods, which, before any of you religious fanatics get too carried away, it's a metaphoric statement, gambling gods. But one, I can assure you this, that Jesse does not anger the chefs at restaurants. Anyway, Sean, tell the folks what you got over at Picks and Parlays on that.
A lot of baseball. I love the baseball card today. And 3-in-1-day essay with my MLB. And I'm loving a lot of doggies today. You could find me Twitter, Mr. Sean Higgs. Midday Money, 7 days a week, 12 noon Eastern. You don't want to miss out on that. And I definitely don't anger any chefs when I'm out. That's for sure.
Or anger the wife.
Come on.
Or cook while you're doing a show like Jesse's wife.
Oh, definitely. That's a no-no for me.
Yeah, so in any event, you can find me over at RossBenjaminSports.com, RBWins.com, whatever you prefer, folks. All I know is I had another NBA side winner last night on Golden State, Golden State, minus the 6.5, as they absolutely blew out with a rout in game 2 of that series to even the series at 1-1. So looking good there. 20-8 since the NBA postseason began on April 11th with my NBA point spread / money line picks. Actually, 27 of those 28 picks for point spread picks. One was a money line pick at -130. So 20 and 8, that's 71%, folks. And also hitting a 62% in the NBA playoffs altogether. So it's been a great NBA playoff run. I did well in the NCAA tournament, the NBA playoffs, the NFL playoffs. So what's that tell you, folks? Crunch time, I'm right there with winning numbers and winning picks. And that's rbwins.com. These gentlemen will be back with me on Tuesday, next Tuesday. So I'd like to wish each and both of you a very good weekend. And I hope you stay safe, spend some time with family, enjoy. And I hope you have a lot of winners this weekend, Jesse and Sean. But for Jesse Shule, Sean Higgs, and Ross Benjamin, we'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best, folks. Take care and God bless.